All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything before we roll through this?
I mean,
Awesome. Amy, anything that you'd, I guess we kind of get a status report from you on a weekly basis. So anything that's getting better, anything that needs to improve, status quo?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Awesome.
good going.
What was that?
Good morning. Good morning, Siri. Sarah.
Good morning.
Good morning. I remember your story from last week. That's the only reason I said that. So good morning to you. Good morning, Kaylee.
Good morning.
I don't know if you saw your videos already up to 324 views in 2 days. So not even 2 days. So I think you'll start getting some response from that stuff for sure. So you did a very, very good job. It was fun.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So Amy, nothing to any kind of status report on things getting better, trending backwards, anything new coming?
No, I think from Genesis Worldwide Good Life on, I mean, everybody's doing what they need to do. I mean, you have the usual things here and there, you know, the random requests in HCMS for the, you know, the carriers and insurance pay, but it's worlds better. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any complaints.
Awesome. My new recruit that did the stuff, I saw you sent the message, but we got on Zoom, we walked through every piece step by step. You got it? Yeah. And then she's going to send this thing out to you too. You got it. And then he went right in there and
Every time.
every time. Crazy. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and get this party started. So good morning, guys. Appreciate you guys being on. It's always awesome to have this many people on a recruiting call. Just shows the direction we're going in reference to growth. You know, over $16,000 last Friday. I think yesterday I just kind of did a quick total in my head. I think we're over 9 or 10,000 yesterday, going into a holiday, which is pretty cool. And I'm sure we'll have a pretty big day today, which will, even though this is supposed to be a short week with the holiday and all that kind of stuff, I bet you we'll end up over 45, 50K for the week, which is very good. So appreciate all you guys are doing as we continue to grow. Obviously, the reason we have this meeting is to make sure we're all staying on point, making sure we're understanding exactly what's going on. So before we get too far into this, I just want to let some of you guys know. I know some of you guys go out to CRM, some of you don't. I'm not making stamping anything with this because I don't know. I just bought my first 5 this morning. They just rolled it out. It must have been sometime late last night or this morning. We now have YouTube leads. So they're under the digital section on the far right-hand side. When you go into the CRM to purchase leads, they're $15. They're $15 a lead. And there was 5 here in St. Louis this morning, so I bought them. We'll see how they go because I'll be dialing on them today to see how they go. So I will track back with that. And if any of the rest of you guys buy them, please, you know, kind of tie back into the team and let everybody know what you've seen. So let's start off with this. I've been going back and forth with velocity on the zip ads. The person that's doing them will no longer be doing them because we just weren't hearing back. So I talked directly to Dave via digital conversation yesterday, and he has somebody else that's going to be working on the zip ads for us. So they kept sending invoices. I refused to pay them. So now we have the zip ads will be getting ready to get started for 12/1. So again, everybody that had already said they wanted them, if you've changed your mind, please let me know before Amy and I put the ads out there on Zip. But those will be prepping for that, getting ready for a 12/1 for those to go live. It is $50 per location. A location is essentially a city: St. Louis, Dallas, San Francisco, any city across the United States that you want. Every city is $50. You'll be billed digitally via PayPal. That way you can print it off and use it for your taxes, etc. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Slack. Happy to answer them. As your guys are getting their agent codes, make sure that they're putting them into HCMS. I'm sure at some point you won't be paid if there's not. I think as a unit, we've gotten infinitely better about getting our codes in there. There are a few that have to be entered in by Amy. If the carriers send the information to me, I will forward it to you and over to Amy. But still send them in over to us. Copy Amy, copy me. Prosperity, CFG, Royal Neighbors, Liberty Bankers, UHL, and Gerber are the ones that Amy needs to put in. The rest you should be able to put in yourself into HCMS. Amy, did I miss any?
No, I think that was right.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm getting better. As far as when your new people are coming on, Understand that prosperity, they have to watch the videos. Once they watch the videos on prosperity, they have for the AML, that is the only thing that you need to do for anti-money laundering or AML for prosperity. The rest of them, you will have to complete anti-money laundering. The one we recommend is WebCE. You can simply go to webce.com, go in there, pull up their anti-money laundering course, and take that. Remember, when your agents do that, make sure they take a screenshot of their certificate. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare if they're trying to go back and find that later. Make sure they take a screenshot of that, and they can use that to upload into the system. They can use that to upload into the system for their anti-money laundering for all the other carriers. It's anywhere from $9 to $15. That's what we've seen. It might be a little bit more in your states, but anywhere from $9 to $15 for that. All right, it does not, well, I'm gonna pass that for now. So process, let's go through process. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. If you guys have any questions, cut me off. I know you guys are used to hearing this week in and week out, but even with that, we still have some mistakes. It's the reason why we do this. So you have a new candidate and you're talking to that person in reference to if they want to come on here or not. One of the things I recommend, I know some of you guys are creating your own web pages to, for your own identity. And I think that's great if that's what you decide to do. We've created these sites so you guys don't have to, you don't have to bear that, setup or monthly expense, etc. But if you decide to do that, you are building your own business. And of course, we'll support that and help you guys with that as need be. But the Join Ffl Genesis website, you guys can use this site for recruiting. Simply goes through the overview video. I don't know what's going on with that this morning, but okay. That's weird. Okay, there it is. I'm not sure what happened there, but there's the Ffl overview video. It's about 17 minutes long. All right. What we do, so term, whole life, universal life annuities, and soon to be Medicare supplement. And we'll update this when that happens after the first of the year or whenever they do it. What we do, how we do it. Mark pointed this out actually last week that there's a shorter 5-minute version of FFL. If you guys want to send this one out, you can find this one on, if you go to Family First Life 5-minute video on YouTube, this video come up, or you can send them here to watch it on here as well. Compensation, there's the full length 9-minute video that covers our compensation, our bonus program that Sean has put together, virtual sales process, which is pretty popular right now. Different podcasts that we've got. I've got to get this thing updated with Kaylee's here later this afternoon. And then of course, join the team. So if they're interested in joining the team and they come out here and put their information here and put your name in the message box, I will send the email over to you, letting you know that you had a new candidate come through. And then the three of us, you, myself, and the candidate can do an interview. So Renee, can you hear us yet? I know you just popped on.
Yes, I can.
Can you, if you will, I know you and I have had 2 or 3 interviews over the last couple of days, and congratulations with your recruiting. Can you kind of tell everybody what the process has been like with UI and the other recruit?
Yeah, so I'm using LinkedIn personally right now and just reaching out. On LinkedIn, you can actually, post a job posting, and if you get an applicant or a response to your connecting message, then basically I just ask them what their availability is, and I reach out to Corey and find out if he can make any of those times work. Then a little bit before the meeting, I let them know that we're going to have a Zoom session, and if they can get on that, and send them the link, and then we all get on to Zoom. And so Corey, we do an introduction, then Corey kind of goes through, about FFL and its founding, and all the compensation and everything else, the whole process. So he goes through some slides that allows the applicant to be able to see a little bit more. I definitely recommend that in the beginning if you don't have all of this knowledge in your head from the start. I mean, it's a lot, and Corey's taken a lot of time to put all this together. So it's definitely been a help. And then you let the client know that, you'll reach back out to them and let them know if we're gonna, give them an offer or not, and find out if they're interested or not. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and Renee, you've done an excellent job of cycling those people through Like LinkedIn is a great source. So, matter of fact, I have a meeting with somebody for LinkedIn recruiting next Tuesday. So I'll let you guys know how that goes as well. But Renee's had 3 people come through just with some of the ways that we asked the question and position things. We had one interview, Renee, was what, maybe 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes at the most, because you could tell the guy just wasn't interested in, I could tell probably within the first couple of minutes, but as we start going through, we went ahead and let him off the hook and saved our time. And that's kind of what I've learned over time, guys, of doing hundreds and hundreds of these interviews. So you guys want the help interviewing and making sure that people understand the process and understand what FFL has to offer, I am happy to help. I think every interview that Renee's asked me to do, I've been on, and including Tim or Mark or anyone else that's asked as well. So happy to help, but seeing is believing. And I think that's part of the reason why doing Zoom interviews, if you can't come get with them face to face, is extremely important. Otherwise, they just feel like you're just talking about it. And most people don't believe that it's true. Amy, hate to put you on the spot. You don't have to say who these people are, but you were talking to a couple young people just yesterday. They've obviously seen videos. And what did they tell you that they thought about FFL, if you don't mind?
That it was too good to be true and a Ponzi scheme.
And these are family members, right?
Yeah.
And they know that you work here, right?
Yeah.
So think about that. Think about a prospective new agent that's going to be coming on. And this is some of Amy's family members that know her, love her, etc. And she works for the company and they don't think it's real. So think about that from a candidate perspective. If you're just talking about it, it's one thing. But if you show third party, it's so powerful. Sometimes when I'm doing these things, I think I did this on a couple of Renee's. I even went on Facebook and I had a couple people. So I had Dominic Rogers pulled up. I had Brendan Kitchings pulled up, Zach Trudowski. So I could just go in, click on it and show them. So it's not just me, it's third party. And they think, they had no idea that I was going to do that because that's how I position it. But at the same time, it really does lock people down. And it shows them that, you're not just, making stuff up. They can actually see it as well. That's why we do Zoom or in person. So if you guys need the help, I'm there. Don't mean to belabor this. Any questions about our website? Pretty simple to use. Just peruse through it. Anytime somebody says, hey, I got somebody that's interested, I usually just send them to the Join FFL Genesis website. All right. So you can also make your own code. Okay. So I'm going to show you this here really quick. On the top left-hand corner of the screen where it says Rogue IMO video link, if you click on that, what it's going to do is give you an opportunity to fill out your first name, last name, email, and phone number. When you hit submit, it's going to send you a code. Okay. That code it's going to send you, sorry about this for you guys' eyes, that code that it's going to send you will look like this. So then you could simply, if somebody's interested, wants to watch the video and you want to create your own link, you can simply send them this code. And this is what it's going to look like when they click on it. Now, Renee has done what I've done. If you guys want help with this, I'm happy to do it one-on-one. It doesn't take very long. What she's done is created a domain name, right? So barkerinsurance.com or join FFL Insurance, I think is what yours is, Renee. You send them that link, and what it does is when they click on it, this is what it pulls up. You can see my name is at the top of it. Corey Williams invites you to learn more. When they click get access, they're going to put in their first name, last name, address, email, and phone number, right? Or state, I'm sorry. When they hit click, or when they hit that they want to watch it, or when they're done, they hit submit, it's going to pull up the video. It's going to pull up the 17-minute Rogue IMO video. And once they start watching it, you're going to be emailed with the information they put in the system notifying you that they're actually watching the video. So you can give them, 15, 16 minutes and then reach out to them, ask them what they thought about the video, etc. Or you can advise them to reach back out to you after they've watched it so you can see if they're coachable or not, or if they're really interested. Anybody have any questions about that? Perfect. No. Awesome. So that's the video. Guys, we're putting YouTube videos out there. We literally have, because I have people ask about the training, we literally have a YouTube video coming out every single day with some type of training, podcast. Looks like the one that just dropped 14 minutes ago is with Eric talking about increasing agent proficiency. So like I said, we didn't do this to become YouTube famous, but we want to make sure that there's content out there for people that makes them feel like they're a part of a team, etc. And let people know, like, here's the training that we are doing with our team, not just FFL. That's the reason why we're having the success we're having. people are coming on and getting bigger, better, stronger, right? Iron sharpens iron, as you guys hear me say all the time. So that's simple. We can get there through YouTube, or they can click on our link here along with all of our other social media information. All right. So you've gone through, you've talked to the person, they decided, yes, they want to do this. You would come out here and complete the onboarding form. If you don't complete the onboarding form, Amy has no way of knowing who that person is, and we have no way of sending out any of the information to them. I know this sounds rudimentary, and we've gotten infinitely better at getting this stuff done, but you're simply going to put in their first name, their middle name. If they do not have a middle name, make sure you put something there or the form will not work, because that is a mandatory field. Just put NA or no name or something like that. Last name, date of birth, street, city, address, state, all that stuff. Please make sure to fill those out. Otherwise the form won't work. Then their email. If they're licensed, you're going to need their NPN number, their national producer number, which is on their license. Okay. You're going to click license. If they're not, you're going to click none. And obviously there's nothing to put there. There's the section for their NPN, and then new agent compensation. That is what you're going to offer your new agent. Okay. Then you're going to put your information in. Please use first and last name, because I'm sure at some point we're going to have 2 Tims, 2 Marks as we get bigger, 2 Corys, whatever. Up your email, and then what your compensation is. When you hit submit, this then comes to Amy and I, so we can start getting your person onboarded if you've done your own interview. And then it will also send an email to you, so you'll have a clean PDF with all of your new agents' information that you put in the system. All right, any questions about that? Very good. For those of you guys that are starting to get more, wanting to get or more appointments, we've also put this on the website as well, state licensing requirement. You click on that, it literally tells you what you have to do in each state to get your non-resident license. Pretty simple stuff. All right. Once you get your agent started within the process, please make sure that once they get their testing and all that kind of stuff done, and while they're waiting to start, once they start getting appointed, which we'll cover a little bit more in a second, you have them do the boot camp. Again, all they do is log in, register, do all that other stuff, and they'll be in the system because Amy enters them in the system as soon as she gets their onboarding form. Okay. Some people want to do the boot camp before they do their studying for the test. I highly recommend you steer them away from that. What's the point of doing a boot camp if you don't pass the test? It doesn't make any sense. And we have a lot of people that ask that. I don't know why, but they want to complete it that way. Commission levels. So what we talk about on a weekly basis, of course, you guys are running your own business. If you're going to buy leads for your agent and like continuously buy leads for them, I'd say 20%, maybe I'm just going to say 20% is kosher to have that split between you and them. If they don't have any experience and you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, 15 or 20% is fine. But make sure you let them know and you make the adjustment when they hit that $15,000 to $20,000 mark, that you bump them up 5%. Okay. If they recruit a couple people and they're training and developing those people and they're writing business, you should bump them up 5%, because here's the deal. They don't need you that much. Maybe don't have hardly any questions for you at all. And their family should be compensated for that. They're doing the work. Yes, you can still, it's okay. Override's not a bad word, but it needs to be the proper and correct override. All right. Guys, just understand some of the world that a lot of our competitors that are a lot of our new agents that are licensed are coming from. They're coming from 50, 60, 70% compensation. And some of them are still buying their own leads. And maybe some of them, their leads are being bought for them. That's okay. But again, our team, we want to stay in that 10 to 20% range. That way nobody's getting gouged. And if somebody does have a conversation with one of our agents at a convention or at next level training or something like that, it doesn't cause that weird compensation deal. That's why we just keep it open. We keep it loose. And that's kind of where we live, is between that 10 to 20%, unless you're really, really buying into and buying agents for that, or buying leads for that agent. Any questions there? All right. So let's cover, Amy, anything? Leadership, anything?
Not for me.
Okay, good. Perfect. All right, guys, what we're going to do now is cover prosperity pretty quickly. Make sure to cover this quick. So I won't bore anybody, but I know I go through this every week. Okay, so what we've done, if you guys want this, I'm going to rip through this pretty quickly, but what we've done is put together a 1 through 7 steps that you'll need to do to get your agent set up on prosperity. Keep in mind, when you get a new teammate on, you have to send the link out from Prosperity to your agent. I'm going to say that again. You have to send the link from you to your agent with Prosperity. It does not go through any of the other systems that we're currently using. So, for instance, where it says FFL Comp, we're going to go to 135. So it says 135 FFL Compensation. The maximum that Prosperity pays, if you're at 135 with FFL, is 130. Okay. The 6.75 is years 2 through 5. That's your residual or renewal, I should say. And then year 6 through 10 is 3.75%. I'll break that down here in just a moment. The maximum advance that you'll have is a 9-month advance. Okay, just like most of our other carriers, except for Great Western and AIG. The maximum advance dollar amount that you'll get is $3,000. So some of you guys, when you go out there, you may see 3,500. Just click the 3,000. Even if 3,500 is out there and you click on it, it's still only going to advance you and your teammates 3,000. Now, what do I mean by 3,000 max advance? If you have a commission and it's $5,000, when they make that initial payout to you for your initial commission, it's going to be $3,000. Once that client has paid in equivalent to $3,000, so if they're paying $500 a month, they'd make 6 payments. On that 7th payment, that's when they're going to start to release that other $2,000 to you. And all the carriers do that. Some of the dollar amounts are a little bit different, but they're doing that to protect you from a huge chargeback. And I think it's, me personally, I think it's a smart business decision, not just for the carriers, but for you as an agent to just kind of protect yourself and your income. Anybody have any questions, guys? And first of all, there's no stupid questions on here. Does anyone have any questions about how this works before I click onto the website? All right, perfect. If you guys want to see this, Slack Amy and I, we will send you this exact deal here so you can have it. So I'm going to just click on the insurance admin. This is going to take us out to the Prosperity website. I'm simply going to log in, and on the top left-hand corner, you're going to see invitation codes. That's what I'm going to click on. When I click on invitation codes, my invitation codes are going to show up. So I'll give you a prime example. Tim needed an adjustment on an invitation code the other day. He reached out to me. And when Tim reached out to me, he said, hey, I need this code so that I can move myself up to move this other person up, which I thought he was already moved up anyway. I simply came out here, grabbed the code, sent it to Tim, and everything was done. Okay. So let me show you this. The first time you come out here, all you're going to see is a blank screen except for generate codes, or code, I should say, to stay correct. So the directions or instructions on the right-hand side of the screen are the steps that you'll follow on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, now let me give you an example. New Vista, you're going to click on that. You're going to click the percentage that equals the FFL comp. Okay, so let me give you an example. If we said 120, 120 is 105 with Prosperity. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the 100, or excuse me, I'm sorry, guys, 120. So it says 105, 6%, 3%. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen, under 120, it says 105, 6%, 3%. Okay, I think you guys get this. So just follow the steps, click the boxes and all that. But what I will show you, what I was just talking about, the 120, 105, 106, 105, 6%, 3%, that is the equivalent, hopefully I'm not making this confusing, to 120% comp with FFL. So when you label this, I'm simply going to label this 120% FFL, 120%, okay? And I'm gonna hit generate code. When I hit generate code, if I come up here and find 120, right here at the top left-hand portion of the screen, you can see it says FFL 120%. New Vista, that's the only product that we offer. It says 105, 6%, 3%. If you keep moving to the right, advanced 9 months, 3,000 at settle. At settle means that's when you're compensated. And then it says vested immediately. So what that means vested immediately is that you are vested from day one and that they are not going to keep or hold your renewals. Now, last thing here on the left, right-hand side where you see the green, if you click on that, that will simply provide you a link, and then you can email that to your prospective agent. If you hit email, you can hit the email button, type their email address in, and it sends that out to them. Anybody have any questions about prosperity? Awesome. All right. So a couple more things. E&O, this comes up quite often, error and omissions. All E&O is if you do or say something that you shouldn't have said, or somebody feels like you did something to hurt them or defame them or whatever the case is, as long as it has to do with our clients and something like that, or clients that you're working with, that's what your error and omissions covers. Knock on wood, 20 plus years, never used it, never had to use it. It's part of the reason why it's so inexpensive, because the chance of using your E&O is extremely low, especially if you're doing the right thing. I know there was somebody that we had that just started with us that was having issues trying to get their error and omissions coverage. And they ended up being able to come out here, use this, and it went through right away. Any questions here for E&O? All right, we talked about so far the process, which we'll cover, finish that up here in a minute. Our websites, we covered commission, prosperity, error and omissions, boot camp, AML. Next, we're going to cover Slack. We'll go through our full process here, and then we'll go back to leaders and work spots, and then we'll go back through and see if there's any questions. So, Amy, anything that I've missed so far? Leadership?
Nope.
Perfect. All right. So let's come back out here. This is Slack. Don't laugh. You guys should be used to this at this point. Case in point, we just had somebody pass their exam, and the person did not. This is somebody that's new, had a teammate that just passed their exam. They did not get the agent on Slack, and they messaged me yesterday and said, I'm having issues getting this person on Slack. Can you wait before you post that they can to congratulate them for passing their exam? That's why you get people right there in the process when they're used to downloading the Slack app. You're showing them all the stuff for Excel. You're doing all that stuff. That's why you do it right then, because it's hard to do it after the fact. So, well, hopefully it gets done. If not, I'm going to go ahead and recognize the person today anyway, if they can. But very simply, guys, when you're out here, make sure that you're in velocity. If you look at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the velocity logo. When you're adding someone to the team, you must first add them through velocity. You're simply going to go add teammates at the bottom of the screen, bottom left-hand portion of the screen. Let me come back out here and make sure you guys saw that. Where it says add teammates at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you're inside of velocity. You're going to click add teammates, and then you can click the type an email address so you can send that to them via email. Or you can type share your link. When you tap that, you can put their phone number in, and it will send the link to them via their cell phone. For those of you guys that have not done that yet, when you do that and send it to them, they're simply going to put first name, last name, email address in. It's going to send them an email address telling them to confirm, and then that's when they'll complete the rest of the information. It literally takes seconds. Once they're in the velocity system, you're then going to go to right up here at the top left-hand corner of the screen, sort of, where it says Genesis, 120 members. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to say add people. You're going to stay on this page, add to this channel, and you're simply going to type their name. And please, guys, if you can, make sure they're using their first and last name. Now, you can see some of these at the top. How would anybody know who these people are? The fourth one down the page. I guess she's the only one in 2002 that had a kid. So just keep that in mind. Please make sure you tell your teammates to use their first name, last name. That way it'll be easy to find them and for other people to, recognize them, etc., or try to communicate with them, right? So we have a new teammate, Jake Grellner. If I came in here and typed in Jake Grellner, you can see he's already part of the team. But what would happen is if he wasn't, I would click his name and it's going to add him. And when it adds him to the team, sorry about your eyes again, guys. When it adds Grellner to the team, you'll see Well, here's another person that I hired yesterday as well, Charlie Mackey. So you can see when I did that, it added him to the team. I send out the welcome and thank you guys that replied and told him welcome. That was very nice of you. That's what happens. Okay. So I know a lot of times people kind of get a little twisted up and confused about how to add somebody to Slack, but that's how you do it. Any questions on how to do that? All right, you guys are either really tired or I'm doing good today. All right, the last thing that I'll mention in reference to, before we go through the full process and let you guys get about your day, is work spots. So let me get here really quickly. Sorry, guys, I know that's terrible on your eyes. Work spots, $99 a month, covers printing, allows you access to every office across the country. That is a WorkSpots office. You guys now have an office down there in Southeast Missouri with Mark. Tim has an office as well, but I think Mark's is either WorkSpots or getting ready to be. It costs you $99 a month. And again, that covers printing, high-speed internet, snacks, discounts, etc. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about it, but I rented a car from Enterprise last week. The car ended up costing me $132. And if I would have went directly to National or Enterprise, the car would have cost me, with the insurance, about $700 for the exact same amount of time. So I tell you what, that discount has been worth its weight in gold itself, along with the other discounts that we've got that have come across the system. So I just want to let you guys know that I highly recommend WorkSpots now that we understand it. And we have a lot of people that are coming back and forth into the St. Louis office that aren't even a part of our direct team, which I think is pretty neat. So if you guys have any questions about WorkSpots, you'll either reach out to your leadership or reach out to me. I'm happy to go through the process with you. All right, let me unshare my screen and then we'll go through what happens throughout the entire process. Again, I think we're getting better, but at the same time, there's also stuff that I think is being missed as well. So you talk to your new agent, excuse me, you talk to your new agent, they decide that they want to come on board. You've sent the videos to them, all that kind of stuff. And we've gone through the interview process and you're going to get them started. If they are not licensed, you still have to, no matter what, they still have to go through the onboarding form, which you're going to fill out. You're not sending that to them. You have to fill that out for them. Okay. Once you fill that out, okay, Amy's going to send them a welcome email. She's going to send them a welcome email, which is going to walk through all the steps. I highly recommend you don't just blindly send that to them or have that welcome email just blindly sent to them because they're going to get confused. It's pretty self-explanatory, we think, but we do it all day long. So make sure you explain to them how that works. Now, before I do this, I want to make sure, because some of you guys may have, maybe you just did your testing a little while ago and forgot how this stuff works, but make sure, and I always do this with people, I know the interviews that Renee and I have done that has gotten to this point, I've shown them. Walk them through this. I know it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but it's going to save you a phone call and it's going to save them some headache, right? Excel Solutions, the reason we use Excel Solutions, except for in Illinois, is because they have an 88% passing rate the first time. It's pretty simple stuff. It's all digital. They're simply going to click Enroll Now. They're going to click on pre-licensing, English pre-licensing, unless they speak Spanish. You're going to find their state, right? So for instance, it's going to use the state of Missouri. And then whichever one they want to take, the life or the life and health pre-licensing, the life and health obviously is going to take a heck of a lot more time, for them to get through it. But let's just stick with the life pre-licensing right now. They're going to click on the $199. They're going to click Go to Cart. And then the code that's going to be sent in the welcome email that Amy sends them, tell them do not type that code in. Copy it, paste it, make sure there's no spaces in the front or back of that code. And when they hit apply, it's going to turn their subtotal and the reported fee total to 0. Then they're simply going to follow the prompts from there. Proceed to checkout, fill their information in from there, and then they're going to have to create a username, password, and then start studying. Again, I highly recommend, I don't know why people sometimes want to do the boot camp first. I would definitely tell you to urge your people to do the studying first to make sure this is something that they're going to want to do before they go through doing the stuff for the boot camp. All right. Amy, anything? Leadership, anything?
No, you got
Perfect.
it covered.
All right. So Amy sends that information out to them. Once they pass their exam, you have to let Amy know, or Amy and I know that they've passed their exam. We'll send them out the congratulations and everything else. and then they'll get the second set of information that will come out to them so they can start getting appointed. Now, your new agent will get appointed with 10 carriers to get started with. I'm telling you, they don't need any more. They just don't. They think they do. They think they need all these carriers, because what's starting to happen now that our team has been around for a little bit more than a year now, what's starting to happen is I'm getting probably, I know this week alone, and it's only Wednesday, I've already gotten, I think, 2 or 3 this week. I got one this morning as well. People are not using those carriers. And if you go 6 months or more not written, they're going to pull your contract. Now, that's not a huge deal, right? Until you decide that you need that carrier later on and you go to reapply, and then they send you through the ringer to get you set up. So I would wait to apply for those other carriers until you need them. I know that sounds crazy, but if you 10 carriers is plenty. I'll leave it at that. All right. So now your agent is licensed. You've let Amy and I know via Slack they've passed their exam. We congratulate them on Slack. Everybody pats them on the back, right? Now they get the email for being a licensed agent. Okay. What's going to happen is that email is going to come from Amy, but it's going to be HCMS. They're going to complete that information on HCMS. Once they do that, they're going to get a second email letting them know that they've completed the information on HCMS. The third email is going to be a link to SuranceBay or SureBay. Same thing, you're going to see that name kind of interchanges. When they go to SuranceBay, when they click on that link, they only need to complete 3 carriers, okay? Please walk your people through this, because I just did it yesterday with a brand new candidate, had him literally, he wrote it down and he still went in and applied for more carriers than he needed to. I don't get it, but it's okay. Americo, AIG, Mutual of Omaha. Those are the 3 that they're going to apply for on SuranceBay. Americo, AIG, Mutual of Omaha. Remember, because we just covered it, you will then send them Prosperity. If they don't have anything in their background and they do all the information correctly with Prosperity and they watch the AML or anti-money laundering videos, they will have an agent code within about 48 hours. Okay. Americo, AIG, Mutual of Omaha, you're going to send them Prosperity. That's all they need to do in SuranceBay. Okay. Then they're going to go back to HCMS. And in HCMS, they're going to complete American Amicable or AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, and Transamerica. That's it. AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, Transamerica. That's it. They're going to see a bunch of other carriers on there, but they don't need them. Now, I know we're starting to recruit more across the country. And I shudder to continue to mention this, but I just want to make sure so it doesn't cause any issues later on. American Amicable has a sister company called Occidental. If you have agents in Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, or Vermont, you also need to be appointed with them, and you need to have a non-resident license in those states. Now, the last thing that I will mention before I swing back to Amy, before we close this out, if you guys don't have any questions, is there's some states that you do not have to have a non-resident license in order to, you don't have to have a non-resident license in order to sell in that state, or excuse me, to receive overrides in that state. I apologize. Okay. What I recommend is if you have agents that are outside of your resident state that you're working with, you get the license. It's not very expensive in most cases. And it's just going on NIPR, applying for your non-resident license. We have those steps again on our website, on our Genesis website. So if you have any questions, we're happy to help you through that. Again, non-licensed, licensed, once they get their license, let us know via Slack and we'll send out all the appropriate information. Now, this thing is sent out to every single candidate that comes on. It's in the licensed email. And for some reason, some of them just don't read it, whatever the case is. It would make Amy's job, so I'm not going to say mine, it would make Amy's job so much easier if you walk your new teammates through that and tell them to just follow this step by step. If they follow this guide, they're not going to need much help to get started. All right, Amy, and leadership. Amy, anything that you would, anything that I missed or anything you'd mention?
No.
All right.
Oh.
Leadership, Tim, Mark, anybody?
Good here.
Awesome.
All good in the hood.
Good stuff. Guys,
Hey, Corey, I got a quick question.
Sure.
So I have an agent that's going through the contracting And he let me know yesterday that he has people that are interested in joining FFL, but he doesn't feel like he is ready to bring them on. How would you tackle something like that?
Great question. Somebody else want to answer that?
Bring them on, man. That's what the team's for. You know, I mean, seriously, you know, you could find a diamond in the rough there. You know, just again, they only say that because they're lacking confidence, and that's okay. Let them borrow your confidence until they get to where they need to be.
Well said, Bila.
I would say, I mean, just from my perspective, like Tim said, bring them on. You may have to step up and do a little more for them, even though they're not your direct to you. But I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. And if you ask Tim, Mark, Corey, they help agents every day that aren't direct to them. So that's just part of doing it. Bring them on.
Bring them on. And I'm glad you guys said that. So I know I ramble and stuff all the time. Ramon, whoever that is, me, you, and that person can get together. We'll go through the steps. And just as I've mentioned, I will help them do the interview. If we need to do a group interview via Zoom or one-on-one, I'm happy to help because eventually you guys won't need me doing that either. So that person, hey, whoever those people are, let's get them set up on interviews. I'll do the Zooms with us and we'll get it knocked out. But that's exciting, man, because you're growing like crazy. So let's get those people.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Amy, for jumping in there. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Real solid day yesterday. Got a solid week going. Stay safe out there. This is always, I know it sounds crazy, but this is always a huge day historically in our industry. Supplemental life and annuities, always a huge day because of people are traveling and all that kind of stuff. Want to make sure they get protected. So I know some of you guys are on your way to appointments. If there's anything we can do to help, including with interviews, as I mentioned, we're just a phone call away. So appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Please stay safe. For those of you guys that will jump on, I'll see you guys on Friday. But happy Thanksgiving to each one of you and your families. Please stay safe, guys. Be great. We'll talk to you soon.
Happy Thanksgiving. Good luck.
Thanks.